Early riser or night owl?
Early.
Which do you prefer, online shopping or retail shopping?
Oh, I'm going online shopping.
Twitter or Facebook?
Twitter.
Chicago or New York?
New York.
Favorite day of the week?
Wow. Do most people have a favorite day of the week? Saturday?
If you were a YouTuber, what kind of content would you make?
Well, I'm an amazing dancer, but I'm being very sarcastic. I hope that came across right there. But I think it would be cool to capture like random conversations that happen in the office with students, just with colleagues, because what starts out as harmless and even still fun just ends up like the craziest things come from it. So I don't know if there'd be some sort of vlog about just random conversations, perhaps.
Customer service at Walmart, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Man, I think they're doing what they feel like they should be doing. I'm gonna go thumbs up. They meet my expectations.
Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat animal crackers?
No, man, I'm gonna let the vegetarian call it for themselves. If they want to eat animal crackers, eat animal crackers. No, I did not. It's probably the opposite of what you'll find with a lot of faculty. I didn't like school. School was always easy, but I didn't care for it. I got really involved in work early. I found jobs, and I felt like I learned a lot just through working. I was in the restaurant, bar, and club business, and what I was doing on accident was almost like learning about marketing day to day in the real world. And so once I went back and got an MBA, that's where I was able to connect the dots with like what many of the people were talking about in class, and then how that applies to what I've been doing for a big block of my life so far. Actually, when I finished my PhD, my wife said, any university as long as it's not in Florida. So after that, believe it or not, I ended up touring FSU, and it felt much more like South Georgia, so that was my sales pitch to my wife. And then from there, just after getting a vibe for the campus, Mike Brady, who's the department chair in the marketing department, was my dissertation supervisor. And so I had an in there, and he was selling it, and I came down, and yeah, here we are today. Our department specifically, I can speak to like the family aspect. And when you go and like tour other universities or get to know other faculty members, I just don't think there is another university that has like the positive culture like you'll find especially in the marketing department and the College of Business. Much more of my time is taken up through administrative and classes, so a lot of administrative duties with the assistant department chair, but I still do research. My research is focused on basically telling people bad news, so how you tell customers no, how you tell people no, how you let them down easy, and how you break up with them. It's, cool parallel between like personal relationships and then like the business world. So much of that relationship between customer and firm is like what you'll find with personal relationships, and so I look at ways that those mimic one another. I'm probably that person that, like everyone else, says they have a love-hate relationship with social media. I try to avoid it. I feel like it starts consuming too much of my time, and I feel like it mismanages our expectations of this world when we look around and we start comparing our backstage to everybody else's highlight reel. You know, I think that really it puts a lot of people in a bad spot, so I don't take it too seriously, but I do spend some time on it. I like the networking components. I like kind of somewhat staying up with what's going on with you guys, and I feel like it's a way to connect and just kind of stay young. I would say that don't be afraid to like branch out and get to know faculty members in other colleges and especially in departments. Again, with so much more of my attention being in the College of Business, I can speak to that much more than I can other areas, but I do work a lot with student placements and things like that with other colleges on campus. So I would probably say with athletics the most, and so I do a lot with like student athlete development, helping student athletes learn that while they're here, they're more than an athlete, and that they should really leverage a lot of these strengths that come with being a student athlete, like work ethic and competitive nature. And so just helping develop things like professional skills, job searching, because while they're here, they're so consumed by their sport. And I think many of them forget that they could leverage a lot of the resources as a student as well as being an athlete. So I do a lot of that with everything from professional development to we've created like a student athlete career fair. And so just more opportunities to focus on just the specific needs of the student athlete in that capacity, because we also focus on specific needs of students in different majors and in different colleges. Why not do the same with the unique group that is student athletes? think there's just only strengths that can be pulled from it. I mean, there might be some initial challenges just with what different disciplines value as good research and maybe important, not important, but I think anytime you can introduce like a diverse perspective or a diverse point of view when it comes to everything from research to helping students, develop and grow, I think it's a good option. If you look at diversity or think about diversity from like a 30,000 foot view, I would assume it means something along the lines of variety. I'm guessing that would be the definition in some capacity. And when I think about it in just like my day-to-day life with how I interact with students and just the diversity that I find with things from like different backgrounds, different interests, even different majors. So in the College of Business, you might have a student who's majoring in business analytics, while you have another student that's majoring in marketing, and there's a lot of diversity that is happening between the needs and the strengths and the challenges for these students, and I love that. I think it brings a lot of positives to the table when you have a student that says, wow, I hate accounting, but I so appreciate the fact that these students don't. And especially with some of our team building stuff we do with students, case competitions, where you can identify these differences and allow students to not view these differences as a negative, but almost as a good use of a way to build a better end product. And I think students here do a great job with it. I think we see a lot of it with our faculty, and again, just at the different colleges, people seem really quickly to embrace the strengths of other people and just the differences and finding a way to make it work for the team. I think the first time I had a professor where he wasn't reading PowerPoints or reading from the book or just regurgitating something that he didn't care about. The first time I saw like a professor apply what he was talking with conceptually to things that were happening, it really connected the dots to me to explain and show that, well, college just isn't about going to get a piece of paper. That there's much more to that, believe it or not, faculty bring something to the table, and there can be some value in not sleeping in class and then paying attention, because there's a value add beyond what the textbook can provide. And I think that, so I don't know if I have a specific memory. I do remember when I started being a little more open-minded to like, what can this class bring to the table, even if it wasn't the most dynamic course. I think one of my favorite things about being a part of the College of Business is the way in which we're not micromanaged. I've seen at a lot of universities where you have just multiple people and you have to answer and go up through the ranks, and there's not like free reign to do entrepreneurial things. But with us, we're fortunate enough to have a leadership team that's very not only supportive of entrepreneurial and outside of the box thinking, but encourages it. Many people, I believe, take that for granted, but I try to be very cognizant of the fact that I can do basically whatever I want as long as I have students as the students' best interests in mind with that activity. And we have a leadership team that just says, hey, yeah, get after it, good luck with it, encourages it and builds it up. And I think that's why we have so many students that are winning from the experiences they find with our faculty. And it's because you have a leadership team that allows you to get out and get creative and think outside of the box. And I don't think you find that at many universities. I'm very appreciative of that here.